It's 1991. Birds and people are living together in seemingly perfect harmony. Until one day, a young man catches fire. This is Phoenix.
You've been knocked down and got up again. In a corner, you're surrounded, no defenders. You've hid your fury and kept it in. But it's time now, you ignite and turn to embers. Like a phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes. Phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes.
Get ready for verse 2, Electric Boogaloo.
You see the truth behind the veil, and you know that they're just looking for attention. Oh, you don't let the ruthlessness prevail. Oh, it's time now, light your fires for ascension. Like a phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes. Phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes. Let you down, but you get up. They let you drown, but you don't stop. You show you're a phoenix. Phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes. Phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Game Week 14 deadline stream. Slightly later deadline than normal, which is, of course, why we are starting at 12 and not 9:30, which is the usual time. The deadline is 1:30. The first match today is 3 p.m. The game at 3 o'clock in Ireland on TV is in Burma versus Luton as well, which is nice. I suspect this is going to be the Watkins, Bowen, and Eze stream, with a hint of Darwin and Isak thrown in for good measure. I think there's going to be some panicking towards the end. Not necessarily from me, I hope. I think I know what I'm going to do. but in general. Do we think if Watkins is out, it means Cash's minutes go up? Presumably Duran will just come in though. So I suspect, I expect. So I don't know if it will massively affect anything. To be honest, Field Solanke or Matoma. Solanke, I think. Why? I thought my light looked a bit weird. Thanks for doing what you do. Thanks for watching. I need to take my inhaler. Hang on. There we go. What a great way to start the stream. I'd love to captain in Burmo. Go ahead. Go ahead. Not a bad option this week by any means. Taylor over Cash. Yes. I mean, look, I think with Matty Cash, there's this like chat going around that maybe he's not completely assured to start. There is part of me that wonders if oh, I put the wrong bloody thing on my tweet. I can't edit it. I can edit it. Okay, Gameweek 14, don't I? There is part of me that maybe we're kind of overthinking this because Cash has started every single game. But for me, like I've got Taylor, he's got Sheffield United at home. I'm pretty okay with just making that move instead. So I'm not going to start Cash. There'll be plenty of squads out there where it makes sense to start him. Just depends who else you've got. Sheriff member for 26 months. Start one of Cash, Lascelles, Gay. Probably Lascelles on that, I think. Out of those ones. Tomiyasu will start over Ben White. I don't know. I don't know. Presumably if Ben White is fit, he will start. But Tomiyasu could play left back instead, although I suspect that Zinchenko will start this one. Is it Simbacor or Ventolin? What a question. That one's Ventolin, but I do have Simbacor as well. -8 for Mbermo and Darwin for Martinelli and Watkins. No, don't think so. I mean, you take him... I mean, my general feeling with Watkins and Bowen is I probably wouldn't take them out for hits. I don't think. I have Eze, Bowen, Watkins all flagged. You've got Palmer, Maguire as bench options. Not bad. I mean, Maguire's not great, I guess. Do I take a hit? I think I would be tempted to take a hit to get rid of Eze, depending on how much money you've got, and then just have Palmer as a backup for one of Bowen or Watkins and hope that the other one starts. I mean, it is worth saying, right, that they might both start. We just don't know. We don't really have any info. Oscar, FPL Focal, did say he thinks that he will find out if Watkins is starting or not. But a couple of things on that. One, it's like more than 24 hours before that game kicks off. So getting that news is not a definite. But also, there is a chance that you get the news and he's starting or not, and then that changes by tomorrow as well. So just be... I mean, if he tweets and says, I've got info that Watkins is not starting, I will act on that, but knowing that it could change by tomorrow. Basically. With Bowen, it's either 0 minutes or 90. Yeah, I mean, he could also be on the bench and come on, right? But I guess 0 or 90 is probably a bit more likely than just 20, I suppose. But it's not impossible. Can I discuss Jesus as a Watkins replacement? I think Jesus is fine. But I just think the defence is pretty good right now. Although I guess fixture-wise, you'd prefer to have the attack in a couple of game weeks' time. Why am I not thinking about Jesus? Well, I've already got triple Arsenal. That's part of the problem. I guess they have got Nketiah there as well, who can play up front, and Trossard. So his minutes aren't necessarily fully secure. Like I think Gabriel Jesus starts most games, maybe even all of them, but he could come off early as well, right? But generally, I think Jesus is a perfectly fine option. He's just not where I'm going to go. But I've got triple Arsenal, so it's a bit different. -4 Watkins and Adingra out to Wissa and Gibbs White. Now Wissa's going to African Cup of Nations, so I'm not sure I'd want to go there. Darwin and Elanga. I mean, it's okay. I don't really rate Elanga as a great option. I would probably just keep Watkins and Adingra. My main piece of advice with Watkins, right, and I'm saying this as someone that may well sell him by the end of this stream, is I would be more trying to keep him than sell him. And again, I've got no issues if you want to sell him. whether or not he starts or not, whether he starts or not. But we shouldn't forget he's a great option for FPL. And in Game Week 18, he's got Sheffield United at home. And yes, Man City and Arsenal are tough. 2 toughest games they're going to have all season, apart from Man City and Arsenal away. But I don't think we were worried about him. It's all about those minutes, right? And if you think he's going to start or we find out he's starting, then you definitely keep him, right? But again, I might well sell him. Just do it. There's literally no reason to move early now. It's not like a price is going to change in 20 minutes. I might as well just wait and see what happens, right? What would you do if you had 2 transfers, Isak or Darwin? I'm pretty sure I'm going to go Darwin over Isak just for the initial next 3 fixtures, basically. Watkins to Isak -4, probably not. Especially if you've got a decent enough bench. Like if it was between Watkins to Darwin -4 or just have an Archer on the bench, I'd probably just play Archer, I think. Even though Archer's terrible. Ahmed, I've got Martinelli and Saliba and 1 free transfer. Either Son out for Saka or roll. I'd probably roll. I don't think there's anything wrong with Son. Play Taylor or Lascelles. Taylor. Would you start... Tom, 16 months member. Would you start Watkins or Bowen? Yeah, I'm a little bit unsure about this one because Bowen is obviously... Well, both of them have missed a game now. But if Bowen's wasn't that bad last week, then surely it's better now. Whereas Watkins has only just got that injury. So I'm a little bit torn. My gut feeling is, without getting any more information, that I would start... I don't know, Watkins is only 50-50. We've literally had no information about Bowen. I was going to say Bowen then, but I'm really not sure. Watkins is only 50-50. I'll say Watkins, I guess. I'm not quite sure about that, though, if I'm honest. It's got to be quite a close call, surely. Alan says, perfect, question mark. Thank you, yes. I mean, I'm not perfect, but appreciate that. OP Talent. No, that's not what you meant, by the way. I don't know what you meant, though. I just know it wasn't that. Bench 1, Palmer, Gordon, Son, Alvarez, currently on Gordon. I would probably... I would probably bench Gordon out of those, but I think between him and Palmer, it's quite close. I just wouldn't want to bench Son for I wouldn't bench Son out of those lot. And Alvarez has got Spurs. I think that's an okay fixture this week. Alex member for 19 months. Thank you very much. Bowen and Watkins for Mbermo and Darwin for free. I mean, I would do Bowen to Mbermo if we don't get any more news. And then you could maybe roll, but I don't mind Watkins to Darwin for free because I might do it as well. Plan was Kudus in for Diaby. Will Kudus play or should I go? Or who should I go for if not Kudus? Well, it depends who you haven't got already. Should Kudus start? I assume he probably will. But again, we didn't really get too much information from David Moyes. I don't think he said anything about him anyway. Please, someone in the chat, correct me if I'm wrong. Even if Watkins starts, he gets like a 5 or 6 pointer. To be honest, Watkins is overrated. He's not overrated. He's a really good FPL option. And like, I wouldn't sniff at 5 or 6 points either. I mean, isn't Watkins like the second highest scoring forward in the game? Yeah. What mic do I use? This is an MV7, I think. Alex went Darwin after he spent the whole member stream yesterday talking about Isak. That is classic FPL. Start Watkins, first bench Archer or Lascelles. It's quite close, isn't it? I'll say I'll say Archer. I don't know though. I think Archer. Where's that one gone? Jesus for Isak, Watkins, Darwin, Jackson for -4. No, I'll just keep Jesus. Start Palmer or Bowen. I think with all the information we got right now, probably Bowen. And Gabriel to Trippier. No, I would just keep Gabriel. Man United's flight got cancelled. They're forced to take a 3-hour bus journey. Imagine having to be on a bus for 3 hours. Those poor people. Livramento straight into my team. I mean... Fair enough. You don't think Man United can score because they've been on a bus for 3 hours? Wilson quotes didn't help. If Isak is not good for the next 6, then Darwin is probably better. I mean, I've been speaking to a few people about Darwin. Just a couple of other points. Salah's obviously going to African Cup of Nations. So somebody... Now, he might just miss one game It might just be the Bournemouth game, and that is it, right? Depends how far Egypt go in the competition. But he could miss 1 or 2 games, right? So who gets penalties? Now, everyone's going to be 100% sure they know. I think McAllister, Soboslai, or Darwin could all be in with a chance, but it could be Darwin. But also Darwin's minutes maybe get a little bit better with Salah out as well. And it's not that I expect him to go and play on the right, but it's just one less, potentially a few less minutes for other players centrally as well. And let's not forget, Darwin's minutes have also been pretty good recently, and Newcastle have a must-win Champions League game, so Isak's almost certainly going to start that. Whereas for Liverpool, they are top of the group, guaranteed. So Klopp can rotate for that last European game. But of course, Darwin Núñez could just get benched against Sheffield United, right? So I mean, you just buy these players. I think, yeah, you buy these players with that information, and you've either got the nerve to cope with it or you don't. Like, I'm telling you now, if you're someone that's going to buy Darwin, then panic as soon as he's benched against Sheffield United and want to sell him before Crystal Palace. Just don't buy him. Just don't buy him at all. FPL Gundo tweeted that Watkins was in training. Yeah, but did you look at the picture? If it's the one that I saw, Steven Gerrard's in that picture. Someone put it in Discord. Diaby and Watkins to Solanke and Saka. I mean, if that's for free, maybe, but I would only really want to do that if I knew Watkins was definitely out. I mean, Saka's great, I think, or pretty good going forward. I don't think Diaby's a must-sell or anything like that. I won't panic when he's benched, I'll panic when he misses. Oh, yeah, for sure. If you buy Darwin tomorrow, and tomorrow's game he starts against Fulham, he's going to rack up about 1.4 expected goals and about 2 points. That's what I would be waiting for, I think. AZ said I missed it. Oh, I did miss that, sorry. Oh, I missed a lot. I missed a couple of super chats, actually. Wildcard active. This is for Alan. Kelleher, Saliba, Gabriel, Simicast, Gordon, Mbeumo, Salah captain, Saka, Ferguson, Isak, Haaland. Subs, Pickford. Interesting. Share, Palmer, Pedro, 0.3 in the bank. I'd be tempted to go for Sanchez instead of Pickford, or maybe even Raya. I'd also, I mean, double Arsenal defence is probably fine. I have to keep reminding myself that Arsenal are such a good defence that if I had to play them in some of these fixtures, like if I had to play one of my Arsenal defenders against Villa away and Brighton at home, is that the end of the world? And if I have to play them against Liverpool away, is that the end of the world? Probably not. And I think given that there's not a huge amount of 5 million or under defenders that are dead certs for points, I think it's probably okay still. AZ, I'm all good. Hope you are too. I have a problem choosing from Anderson, Archer, and Taylor. I'm sure whoever I choose, the other will get points. Would I play Archer ahead of Taylor? I mean, Sheffield United are just rubbish. I'll say Archer over Taylor, but again, I might be wrong. Lots of stuff. I just don't know anything really. But I'd probably start the attacker, I think. I planned Cash and Diaby to Saliba and Mbeumo, but now Bowen and Watkins are flagged. Thoughts? Yeah, I mean, you could sell Bowen instead of Diaby and then deal with Diaby next week instead. And then just hope Watkins plays and use one of your bench players. Best Bowen replacement got Saka, Mbeumo, Martinelli. Probably just hold and play your bench player, maybe. I mean, there's tons of other options. Depends how much money you want to spend, right? Palmer, Gordon, players like that. Fazy, we love this stream. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching. I'm just thinking, is there any other midfielders that I missed out that are obvious to bring in this week? Like, who's got good fixtures this week? I mean, you probably don't want another, or you don't want another Arsenal midfielder, that's for sure. You probably haven't got room either. Gordon, wouldn't go for Fernandes, Rashford. Palmer, I mentioned. Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz, not a bad punt, I think, in the short term. That's the thing. Everyone thinks that Darwin is definitely getting rotated against Sheffield United. But what about Luis Diaz? Is he definitely going to play the next 3 games? Could Gakpo play on the left and could Darwin play through the middle? Maybe. Could Darwin actually play against Sheffield United then miss out Crystal Palace? Possibly. Possibly. Fazy, on a wild card, Simicast or Kelleher's third Liverpool spot. Probably Simicast, I think. Pinnock, Mikalenko or 3.9 as the 5th defender. Probably Pinnock if you can cope with game week 18. Best goalkeeper combo until the next wild card. I gotta be honest, I've not looked at combinations. I'm not gonna have time to think about that too much. But I would probably go. I mean, there's no harm in going Kelleher over Turner, but I would think I'd rather have Tsimikas. So probably Areola and Sanchez, or Areola and Flecken, or Areola and Raya, depending on how many Arsenal players you got. Bench Gordon or Palmer? Probably Gordon. Zinchenko or Tsimikas? I think this. I'm gonna say Zinchenko long term. I have Archer and João Pedro. Got one free transfer, 1.7 in the bank. Think of selling one for a striker. Any recommendations? If you can get up to Solanke, great. If not, I mean, João Pedro will probably start this week, won't he? I mean, Brighton have got so many injuries. Like Brighton might finally have so many injuries that João Pedro could start. So unless you can get to Solanke, I'm not sure it's worth selling João Pedro. Wildcard play Haaland and Isak and Darwin for ultimate cover, or move one to Trent to avoid benching headache. Well, look, you should never worry about having like a good squad. So if you having Isak and Nunez, if it works, great. I don't know how having Trent instead makes the benching headache less though. Trent's also good. Azar, remember for 32 months, should I do Diaby to Saka for a -4? I probably wouldn't. I'd just keep him for one more week, then maybe deal with it next week. Tom, start 3 of Trent. Well, you're not going to bench Trent, are you? You're not going to bench Trippier. So it's Anderson, Cash, or Udogie. I would probably... And Udogie's got Man City away. So then it's Cash versus Anderson. Anderson's got West Ham away. Cash might... I'd probably start Cash in your case. Can do Son to Palmer and Watkins to Haaland for free, but also Bowen to deal with, who I could move to Mbermo. Which move is better? If you can do Bowen to Mbermo and Watkins to Haaland for free, I think that's pretty good. But I suspect you can't with Son. So I think that move is good, and maybe just even hold Bowen. Or just do... I don't know about Bowen to Mbermo for a hit, to be honest. Could work out. Could potentially work out. Gibbs White for first bench and keep Watkins in. Sounds okay, yeah? Not a problem with that. Good evening, transfer plan. Game week 14, Watkins to Darwin. Okay, game week 15, Mitchell to Porry, James. Good or bad? I think it's potentially okay. The one thing I'll say on Mitchell, right, because he's fully fit, isn't he? You got the same... Do I think that Porro is better than a Crystal Palace defender in game week 15? Yes. But do I think it's worth a transfer? I mean, it might be. I might do it. But I think you're in a good situation where if you do Watkins to Darwin and you get stuck, you can just play Mitchell. He's got Bournemouth at home. But in theory, yes, that sounds okay. Yogesh, one free transfer, Adingra to Souček Elanga for free. Why are we trying to get rid of Adingra all of a sudden? What's the thinking there? He should start, right? I mean, Chelsea away is maybe not a great fixture, but after that, it's Brentford at home, Burnley at home. I don't see the reason to get rid of Adingra. Especially for... I mean, Souček, yeah, he scored a lot of goals recently, but I don't think he's better than Adingra. Or sell Watkins to Darwin to fund Adingra to Palmer for -4. I would either roll or do Watkins to Darwin and keep Adingra. I don't get what the rush is to sell him all of a sudden. Unless I've missed something. I mean, a few weeks ago, he was being talked about a lot, right? Maybe I'm missing something. Hi from Miami. I bet it's warmer over there. Thanks for tuning in. Son to Sterling or Trippier to Lascelles to get Haaland back in for Darwin for free. Would you not just keep Darwin? Lots of people are thinking about bringing Darwin in. I mean, I get it, right? You might want... Okay, let's just say you definitely want Haaland. I would rather do Trippier to Lascelles than Son to Sterling, but both have risks. Sterling's on 4 yellow cards. Lascelles won't keep his place when Botman's back. When will Botman be back? I do not know. -4 for Ward-Prowse to Mbermo. Probably not, but I don't hate it. I think Mbermo's great. Seriously, Man United's match against Newcastle is not going to be postponed because Man United have to catch a bus instead of a plane. Let me just Google this right now. Manchester to Newcastle. All right, it's 145 miles. They can do it in less than 3 hours apparently. Maybe not on a coach. I think they'll be fine. They're not going to cancel a match because they have to travel like that. Maybe if it gets snowed off or something. Gibbs White or Palmer for next 5. I'd say Gibbs White, I think. If you're keeping Watkins and you've got Watkins and Archer, I would definitely start Watkins and just have Archer on your bench. Because if Watkins starts, he's so much better than Archer. Yeah, I think we've got to stop. Just stop worrying about the Man United bus situation. It's going to change absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. I mean, how quick's the flight? I guess it's pretty quick, right? 30 minutes or so, maybe. I think we have to ban, like, you know how everyone says there's too many podcasts now? Not FPL, but just in general. There's too many podcasts. We've got to put a stop to it. We've got to stop so many people being allowed to have podcasts. On Twitter, we've got to stop so many people using breaking news for absolutely any piece of news. Like, breaking news, Man United have to catch a bus. Like, come on. Come on. Stop using breaking news for absolutely everything. If the United coach hits traffic, is Bruno a sell? I'm not even gonna what's the word? Entertain. I'm not even gonna entertain these questions. If the match is cancelled, we'll come back to it. But you're not gonna find out before 1:30 anyway. Watkins to Darwin for -4, probably not. Bowen to Gordon for a -4, probably not. Bench is pretty bad. I mean, here's the question, right? If Bowen starts, are you going to be happy with Gordon, or are you just going to want to reverse it? Because if you're going to want to reverse it, I would take the risk. But again, it's very easy for me to say that. Like, would I take the -4 if I had Bowen? Potentially. Would I take a -4 for Gordon? I don't know. I mean, I think Gordon's good. I don't know if he's a -4 this week. Good. Cash, Lamptey, Bowen, Watkins to Saliba and Burma. He's at -4. You're missing a player there. Oh, Cash or Lamptey and Bowen, Watkins. Saliba and Burma. He's at -4. I mean, I do quite like that, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, I think you're making at least 2 big upgrades and then maybe another upgrade with Isak. Again, though, you could just do Cash or Lamptey and Bowen to Saliba and Burma and just hold Watkins and not take the -4. I think with Bowen, if you haven't got in Burma, like, that's such a good option. Whereas with Watkins out, like, Isak and Darwin are good options, but I don't think it's quite the upgrade. Like, if Watkins is back next week, I think you'd be fine holding on to him. I guess you'd also be fine holding on to Bowen, but I don't know. I feel like I think my order of selling is definitely Eze first, then Bowen, then Watkins, just about. So I don't know if I'd take that -4. Bench 1, Isak, Gordon or Palmer. Probably Gordon out of those. But again, like, there's going to be loads of Gordon owners wondering why I keep saying bench Gordon. It's only really in that decision. For most people, you should just play him. He's a great option. Ferguson to Darwin and bench Diaby, or roll and bench Ferguson. I mean, basically, you can play one of Diaby or Ferguson. I don't think you need a transfer to Darwin in that case. I'd probably play Diaby out of the two. But Evan Ferguson is pretty great. It's going to be such an anticlimax if Focal just turns up and says, yeah, Watkins starting tomorrow. In some ways, I wish we just didn't get the news, and then we could all just transfer him out in peace and then regret it tomorrow. I'm doing Cash and Bowen to Simicast, and I'm doing Cash and Bowen to Simicast and Gibbs White. Interesting. Also have Goodmanson for a punt versus Sheffield United. Okay. May not be popular transfer, but feel they'll do well. Good luck. Hope they do well for you. Pickford to Kelleher for a hit. No, don't think so. Even with wildcard 19. Would you do Adingra to Palmer for a -4? Probably not. Bowen Diaby to Saka PAL. Who's PAL? Midfielder. Oh, Palmer. Or Bowen Watkins to Saka Darwin -4. Probably the one for free, I think. Have Bowen and Watkins with Livramento and Archer on the bench. Worth a hit to get Darwin or Sterling in for them? Probably not. Maybe one, but I think Livramento and Archer are not that bad. Bowen to Sterling worth it. I mean, the thing is, Bowen might start, and if he doesn't, you're bringing in Sterling with 4 yellow cards. I'm not sure about that. How much better of a captain is Haaland than in Burmo? Enough where I've not really entertained in Burmo as a captain at all this week. I mean, in Burmo could be great, but I think Haaland and Salah are definitely, they're always going to be better, right? Even with, I mean, look, if in Burmo had Luton at home and Haaland had Arsenal away and Salah had Liverpool away, maybe. Then maybe I'd go in Burmo. No, wait, Salah can't have Liverpool away, can he? I don't think they can. I don't think they can both have two tough games, can they? Let's just say they both had Arsenal away, which is impossible. I mean, it's maybe not impossible if one team doubles and the other one doesn't. Let's say they both had Arsenal away and in Burmo had Luton at home, then maybe I would captain in Burmo, but that's about it, really. That's the only time I would do it. What makes me captain Haaland ahead of... Yeah, Haaland over Salah is just... I don't really like backing against Haaland unless I absolutely have to. And he's got a pretty good fixture. They're missing both their centre-backs. That's it, really. I mean, Salah is also great. If you want to go Salah, you should definitely go Salah. He's a really great pick this week. There's really not much in it. It's almost flip a coin territory. Someone's just WhatsApped me. Thank you very much, by the way. And said, Focal saying he was told last night Watkins' state is subject to getting through training today. That's similar to what happened with Saka, isn't it? Remember that? We got told. I think we got told that. And then he didn't play against Man City. So his Focal basically saying he's not going to find out if he's started or not. Well, in which case, he shouldn't have put that tweet out last night, because I tell you now from experience, he's going to get a lot of people wanting to know where the news is. And Twitter will not be fun for him today. Oh, he's expecting more news on stream. Okay. We're still good. More news could be coming. Keep me in the loop. He said he's going to tweet about it anyway when he finds out. Is Lascelles playing? I mean, presumably. I'm not sure who would start ahead of him, to be honest, at the moment. Would you do Son to Saka for -4? No. Someone asked me earlier, I can't remember who it was now, like, what's my general feelings on Son? I mean, first of all, I think people have got so many other things to worry about right now. Son is probably the least of their concerns, but I'm just still not that worried about him. And if he blanks against Man City, 4th blank in a row, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to keep him for West Ham. And if he blanks against West Ham, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm probably just going to keep him for Newcastle. Then he's got Forest away. Then it's Everton at home in 18. He could even be a captain option. I'm just not that worried about him. I just think we know he's a good FPL option. I get it. Maddison isn't here, etc. Luckily, we haven't really had to discuss that last few days because of all the Watkins and Bowen stuff. But we've got a player that's pretty much nailed on to start every game for 90 minutes. It's probably on penalties. It's a great finisher. Will get chances even without Maddison. When he gets those chances, you'd expect him to convert them more often than not. Look, if you've got a great move you can do, like Son down to Mbermo, and that lets you upgrade Archer to Darwin or something like that, that makes your squad better, fair enough. But for most people, I would just leave Son in until the Asia Cup and then worry about it then. After Everton, it's Brighton away, Bournemouth at home. And if he starts all those games over Christmas, he's just a really good option. I don't know. I got to be honest, I'm sat here with almost zero concerns about Son being in my team. I just think he's just a set and forget for me until there's an injury or until he's not going to be available. I just, not worried about him at all. Who knows though? Next week things could change, right? I'm not sure what would have to happen for that, but we'll see. Oh, he revealed the news from last night as his guy has gone quiet this morning all of a sudden. Oh dear. Yeah. If I'm expecting team news, I try not to. I usually don't put it out there too early, just because it can be a bit of a nightmare. Oh my god. People are tweeting this Watkins spotted in training, and they're just completely missing that it's Steven Gerrard to the right of him, who, by the way, is not the manager of Aston Villa anymore. And there's another FPL account which I've seen in Discord that said that Watkins has travelled, and I've got that FPL account blocked. So right now, I would say there's not really any team news we should be acting on, I don't think. Diaby and Bowen to Palmer and Saka worth a -4. Probably not. Okay, look, if you're worried about Bowen and you need to do the Diaby to Palmer move to fund Saka, fair enough. But if not, I would just do Bowen to Saka and leave it at that. I went from Eze to Elise, took a -4, Bowen to Odegaard. Good luck with that. Just bear in mind, I mean, it's too late now, you've done it right. But Crystal Palace's fixtures are about to get a bit worse after the next two. Plus, Eze being out is probably not good for them overall. But If it's done, it's done. Is Cash Diaby to Palmer Saliba worth a -4? Probably not. I would just do one of those moves. If you can do Cash to Saliba, happy days. Again, if you need the money, maybe. But, I mean, Diaby and Cash might both start. Like, I know some of us are a bit worried about Cash, but it's not a... It's far from a certainty that he won't start. Basically, the long and the short of it is, for me anyway, Carlos and Pau Torres didn't start the European game. I'd be very surprised if Carlos doesn't also start at the weekend. But then Konza always starts. So where does Cash fit into that? He could play right wing, but Bailey was benched in the European game. He played very well against Spurs when he came on and played right wing. So that's the worry about Cash. I don't think it's like I don't think Cash has suddenly lost his place. And look, I've not been worried about it for a while, but I did talk about this back three and build up, and that Cash might not be completely nailed at the start of the season. Never happened, but it might happen now. And that's the basic worry. But at the same time, he could start. I just don't know. I don't have the information. I have Pinnock, Gabriel, who should I leave out? Who are you thinking about leaving out? Because you've put like 10 players there. You can't be thinking about leaving them all out, right? I mean, most of them are good options. So I guess Watkins. Jean, thoughts on 3-4-3 with Haaland, Darwin, Isak up front? Yeah, perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with it anyway. Yeah, again, I'm not going to keep going over whether Cash may or may not start, right? I'm just saying that there's a doubt there in my mind, which is why I'm benching him. Some people should start him if they haven't got a better option. Like, we can go round and round in circles on it. No one knows, is the honest answer. And I do think there's probably a bit of groupthink that because some people think there's a chance, that's kind of spiraled into more people thinking there's a chance, and that's kind of getting around a bit more. Cash might start. He might start. You know what? He also might not. So it depends what kind of spare transfer you got and stuff like that. But if I had Cash and Diaby, I wouldn't be selling both for a hit. I would just sell Cash. I mean, the thing, like, for my team specifically, like, I don't know if... I mean, Cash probably is a lot better than Charlie Taylor if he starts, but it's just not worth the worry for me. If Cash outscores Taylor, if Cash gets a 15-pointer, then I'm going to look stupid. It's fine. I look stupid most weeks anyway. I'm well used to it. No smoke about fire, though. You know what they say. Maybe the group think about Cash getting benched. Maybe it's just a lot of smart people who've got it correct. You never know. Start Cash or Trippier. I mean, that's an easy decision for me, I think. I think you need a really good reason. I guess they need a really good reason to... I need a really good reason to bench Trippier. Okay, so the person messaged me on WhatsApp who's watching Focal's stream, I think, said, update, Watkins training inconclusive, can't tell either way, I guess they will make a decision near a kickoff. So it sounds like we're not getting the information, which, yeah, doesn't completely surprise me. I mean, I guess, like, it's not like, you know, if Martinelli for Arsenal is... got a slight knock. It's not ideal, but you just play Trossard left wing, right? With Watkins, you really want to play him, so I guess you would leave that decision as late as possible. Start Porro or Gay. That's a really tight call. Because Porro is way more attacking, but he has got the worst fixture you could have. I'm going to say Gay in that case, but pretty close. Sounds like a 50-50. Well, I mean, that is what Emery told us yesterday, right? Play any two of Taylor, Son, Alvarez, Watkins. Any two Son and Alvarez. I was literally just Reese, how's it going, by the way? Go and check out Reese Fantasy Manager Weekly on YouTube. I was literally just thinking I might bench Cash for Mitchell also because of the uncertainty. The thing is, right, so yes, potentially, but I've also got Cash ahead of Gay on the bench. So does that kind of tell me that I'm not quite as worried about Cash as I'm maybe letting on? Possibly. Maybe I should be swapping that. Maybe I should be putting Cash last bench. But there's probably a part of me that thinks if I put Cash last bench and he starts, and you're looking for more stupid. But yeah, I think it's fair. I think if you've got a nailed on player in the like, do we think Villa get a clean sheet? Do people think Villa get a clean sheet today against Bournemouth away? I'm not so sure anyway, to be honest. Don't captain Haaland. Salah is about to haul. Again, they're both really good. They're both really good. Should I take a hit for cash? Probably not, no. No Villa clean sheets there. I would say probably not. I think, oh, you're buying Solanke. Yeah, I don't think that's a bad... I mean, Solanke's been forgotten about. Solanke scores 2 goals against Newcastle. Everyone wants to bring him in. He blanks against Sheffield United. Now he's not being talked about whatsoever, from myself included. I actually don't think... If Solanke was going to enable something big for me, I would genuinely... Like, let's say Watkins is out and I'm going for Darwin. If the money from Solanke enabled a much bigger move, I would go for Solanke over Darwin, I think. But I don't think it makes too much difference for me. I did briefly look at it because I'm not going to get to like a Trippier or a Trent anyway from that move. Like, what else do I need that money for? It's just like there's nothing really to do with it. So I did think about that myself. I think Solanke is a good option. If you can't score against Sheffield United, I can't trust you again. Reminds me of the time Son blanked against Luton. But do you remember the time when Son blanked? Wait, hang on. So you didn't trust Son again because he blanked against Luton. You know he got 14 points against Fulham the week after, and then 10 points against Crystal Palace the week after that. Son also blanked against Sheffield United and then got 14 points against Arsenal and 7 against Liverpool. Andy Ramsky, I've done Bowen and Archer to I've lost that. And Darwin -4. Thoughts? It's already done, isn't it? You don't need my thoughts. Happy days. Get on with your weekend. But yeah, potentially a good move. Yeah, I mean Darwin is a big upgrade on Archer, and Hwang is a definite better bench option than Archer for sure. So yeah, FPL could crash if we get late Watkins news. Potentially, I'm not sure it's quite the same as like Haaland potentially being out, but maybe yeah. Adingra to Palmer, 1 free transfer, cash on my bench. I get what Adingra owners. What's the need to get rid of him? Make me understand. Like, do I think Palmer is better than Adingra? Yes, but do I think it's worth a transfer? Like, why do we not like Adingra all of a sudden? I need to understand because I feel like I'm missing something. Bowen to Mbermo, Son to Gordon, and Watkins to Haaland for a -4. I mean, to get Haaland back for just a -4 and bringing Gordon and Mbermo sounds quite good to me. I mean, I guess I've just got to put the stipulation there that, you know, if Watkins, Son and Bowen all start, you know what could happen, but I think that's not a bad -4. Play any 2 of Taylor, Son. Oh, I did that one already. Son and Alvarez, right? Doesn't Son and Watkins price drop tonight affect you? Well, the Watkins one doesn't. Like, if Watkins drops tonight, then he'll be 8.4, and I bought him at 8.2, so I'll still sell him for 8.3. And the Son one, honestly, the honest answer to this, does the Son price drop affect me? I have no idea, and I don't even need to check because I'm not selling him. Like, the only reason you should be checking price rises and drops really is if it's a player you want to sell. And I don't really want to sell Son, so I don't really care if he's going down in price. Like, if he goes down in price, he's got less owners. I guess that's a good thing overall for me. Of course, he might continue to do bad. I might want to sell him later and then be 0.1 million off my favoured move, but yeah, not really a huge issue. Focal's source is still unsure on Watkins. Yeah, I guess we just wait a little bit longer, right? There's no... Okay, Watkins had a message just now. A decision will be made closer to kickoff. Still more than 24 hours out. Late fitness test. Sorry, it's nothing concrete. I've asked if there's any more info other than that. Okay, so we're probably not going to get any more info. So he's 50-50 still. I don't know whether to sell him. I was kind of secret. Well, I don't know. There was part of me that was thinking, I hope he's out just for the. Like, obviously, I don't want a major long-term injury. But I was thinking if he was out for one game, it'd be nice to get Darwin. But there was another part of me thinking, if he's fit, I can just roll, and 2 free transfers would be really handy. I think I'm going to sell him if we get no news. I think I'm going to sell him. I will say, I think it's more... And look, I know... I don't know if it makes me a hypocrite. No, I don't think it makes me a hypocrite because I'm not saying it's bad. But as someone that has given out team news before, I actually quite like if we don't get news about Watkins because people will have to make a decision one way or another. It's a bit more old school then. A bit more old school, right? We don't have all that team news. But I'm not saying it's bad. If you had the news, that would make decisions easier, right? Breaking news. You're just winding me up now, aren't you, with the breaking news? Watkins picture training with Steven Gerrard in controversial physiotherapy that involves time travel. Why are people not looking at Sterling? I think people are, but he is on 4 yellow cards. No, Focal's basically... I mean, it doesn't sound like Focal's going to get any news. The thing is, if Watkins does start, then he's also going to start the next 2 as well, isn't he? What if he doesn't start, though, and then he's not fit for Man City? That would be the greatest outcome. What's the logic for Haaland captain over Salah? Haaland's just really good. Really good. Brought in Burma and Darwin for Watkins and Diaby. Is it worth taking a -4 to bring in an Arsenal defender for Gay, Share, Taylor or Cash? Probably not, no. Salah 1 goal away from 200 with Liverpool. I'm just trying to change your mind. Yeah, I mean, I've seen some people say, like, he's 1 away from 200. He's really going to want to score. But I think he really wants to score every week. I guess doing it at Anfield, a bit better than doing it away. But, again, Salah's a really good captain. And if you want to captain Salah, you should absolutely just captain Salah. And you should not worry about what I'm doing whatsoever. This week, Gordon and Nunez or Mbeumo and Archer. This week only... I mean, there's a combination. If you've got to start both, then it's always going to be the one without Archer, I think. And he could do well, but he's not great. Bench 2, Mitchell, Cash, Baldock, and Lascelles. Probably Baldock and Mitchell, I think. Watkins and Hwang to Solanke and Mbeumo -4 or roll. I would either do Watkins to Solanke or just roll, yeah. I think rolling is fine. Watkins for Jesus, worth a shout. I'm not sure I would go there. Oh, excuse me, personally. 2 free transfers, Watkins and Cash to Darwin and Saliba. I mean, Cash to Saliba's... I mean, if you need the money if you need to get Darwin to fund the other move, then I think it's okay. I just really want to get this point across, though. Watkins is not definitely out, and Watkins could start tomorrow. And if he does, and he does well, I think if Watkins starts and does well, and lots of people get Darwin or Isak and they blank, and then they get rested for the midweek game and Watkins doesn't, there's going to be a lot of panic. And again, I'm not saying you shouldn't make the move, and I will probably make it in about, 35 minutes time. But I just feel like I know what a lot of people are like, and they panic very quickly. And I think Darwin is not a player that is going to play 90 minutes for you every single week, and you should know that before you buy him. That's all I'm going to say. And I will probably say that again before the deadline. And yes, I'll also be sat here this time next week thinking about selling Darwin probably. Start Bowen or Watkins. Both seem touch and go. I think I'd start Watkins over Bowen, I think. Yeah, I mentioned the focal. I mean, basically, there's no information. Is the long and the short of it. We're not going to get any news about Watkins. You'd rather have Isak than Darwin regardless of fixtures. Yeah, Isak's good too. This is Liverpool's best run. Yeah. Again, like I don't, I'd love to be sitting here shouting and being super controversial for clicks, but I don't really have a strong opinion on Darwin or Isak. I'm going Darwin. Isak's very good. I don't really have a strong opinion on Haaland captain versus Salah. Haaland's really great. I'm going to go for him. Salah's also really great as well. Like sometimes the decisions in FPL are just close, and you hope that you come out on the right side of it, and that's it. I mean, if you ask me about Douglas Luiz or Cole Palmer, I'll have a bit of a stronger opinion on it. But I shouldn't have mentioned Douglas Luiz. I feel like I'm bringing him up too much now. He's going to make me look like an idiot once again. Maybe Focal, who... So he said... Where did he say it? Oh yeah, he said this is about Watkins. He said I'm starting him for what it's worth, and I think he'll start. Now, is that basically him saying I've got the team news, but I can't officially confirm it? I don't know. Maybe. I love Douglas. To be honest, like, didn't he put in another? He put in another great assist for Moreno on Thursday. Douglas Luiz is great. I think the best thing about the next couple of weeks is when I bring in Douglas Luiz, and that's not even a joke. Who knows? Could happen. Villa's fixtures are pretty good from Game Week 18 onwards. I wouldn't completely rule it out. Oh God, imagine if Douglas Luiz scores a hat-trick. That'd be mad. I'm going to call it. United is going to draw against Newcastle. I don't know. There's something weird about this United team. We are all trolled by them, but then suddenly they'll turn out all right. I mean, my general feeling with Man United tonight is they will probably lose because, I mean, Newcastle have probably got... Who's got the most injuries that's affecting them right now? It's probably quite close. Newcastle probably slightly worse. But Newcastle are a better team at the moment, and they're at home. So they're probably going to win. But I think Man United score. So if I had Newcastle defence, I'd probably start them ahead of some other players. But I'm not, as someone that doesn't own Newcastle defenders, I'm not massively worried. Not massively worried. Should you worry about African Cup of Nations right now? Probably not massively, no. I was looking for a question then. Have a nice... Are Elanga and Gibbs White being overlooked for the next 5 game weeks? Yes, and I think probably rightly so. I mean, Gibbs White is okay. I'm not a fan of Elanga. Like, I know he's cheap, but the numbers aren't really there. He's not completely nailed on either. Although, actually, do you know what? I might have that mega wrong. I just realised he started 87 plus minutes in the last 5 games. Maybe he is nailed on. Nottingham Forest fans, is that going to continue? But yeah, the numbers, even though he started, his numbers just aren't that great. Like, you look at his expected goals, expected assists per 90, 0.14, 0.19. I know he's cheap, but for 0.3 million more, you get Cole Palmer. I just don't... Not a fan. Not a fan. Gibbs White, okay. Start Bowen or Watkins. I start Watkins out of the 2. Start Mitchell or Hwang. I go for the attackers. Start Watkins or Son. I've got both Watkins and Bowen. Who would you transfer out, or should we just hold? It depends who you haven't got. But if you haven't got Mbeumo, I do Bowen to Mbeumo. Watkins to Jesus. I probably just hold Watkins. Watkins to Mubama. Edison to Kelleher. Eze to Salah for a -8. That doesn't sound great to me, just to get Salah in. Especially if you've got Haaland, because you can just captain him. Catcher to leave a -4, probably not. Bruno to Saka, or both for a -8. I wouldn't do any of that for a hit, to be honest with you. Yeah, I don't think either of those are worth hits. Oh, now I've got to... Now I've actually got I just don't know if I can actually go through with Watkins to Darwin, because Watkins is such a... The last time I saw Watkins, things went really wrong. I got in Nicholas Jackson and it was not good at all. Start 2 of Trippier, Tsimikas and Gordon. That's actually a tough call. That's actually a really tough call. I almost just want to say good luck with that and then not answer. Is Tsimikas... Like, I'd probably start Gordon, so then it's Trippier versus Tsimikas. Is Tsimikas good enough this week to be better than Trippier? I really feel like you need a good reason to bench Trippier. I'm not sure if Man United at home is that. I think Tsimikas will start, for what it's worth. Oh my God. I think I would bench Tsimikas, but it's really close. Alvarez goal... Morale, as in like, is he gonna have a boost of morale because he scored in the Champions League? Maybe. Odds on Watkins starting. I would probably, I don't know, maybe 60%. I think he's more likely to start than be benched. Probably. Is he gonna drop in price? By the way, is Watkins gonna drop tonight? Let's have a look. Oh, he's going to drop in price tonight. So I'd only need 0.1 to bring him back in. Tempted to take the punt on it. Holly at the wheel. Breaking news. I would give Watkins 1 more week. There's a good chance he plays. Yeah, but now the problem is we're trying to decipher whether he's... This is the problem now. Is he saying that because he's actually got info, or does he just think that? Because I think most people would probably put Watkins starting, right? Because I said this on Final Thoughts on Friday. Most people just expect him to start because he always starts. But we said the same thing about Bowen the week before. I thought Bowen was going to start last week. Just didn't happen. Oh, I don't know. It's so close. What's my thoughts about starting Taylor over my other defenders? Just fixture, really. That is about it. I think Bournemouth and West Ham have got a good chance of scoring. I think Sheffield United less so. They could all concede. I mean, there is absolutely a chance I've got it wrong and that Taylor shouldn't be playing, but I'm going to go with it. I think if Matty Cash had been like playing really well and super attacking the last few weeks, maybe I wouldn't do it. I mean, to be fair, he hasn't been not attacking. Like, his expected goals are still okay over the last few weeks. I just don't know if it's worth the risk of him being benched, maybe. Want to sell Watkins to Isak or Jesus for fixtures? I'd probably go Isak out of those. Should I be giving more thoughts to playing Mitchell over Cash? Probably not massively. Sky FF captain today, Saliba, Saka or someone else? I would say someone else. Someone else. The mystery around my Sky captain. I'm sure you can guess. If it's not Saliba and Saka, who is it? You can guess. Focal genuinely doesn't know, judging by his demeanour. But what if in a former career before he was an FPL streamer / video maker, what if he was an actor and he's just acting? How do we know? Newcastle versus Man United game officially called off because of snow. Is this where you make a joke that it's like the under-21s or something? Matty Cash is playing right midfield. Would you not start him? But will he though? Or will it be Leon Bailey who got a rest in Europe? Cash was one of the only players to play like 90 minutes as well. But to caveat or to counter my own point, Cash also only played 45 minutes against Spurs, so he'd already had kind of a rest. Maybe he didn't need it. Why are people selling Alvarez? He hasn't scored recently. I think that's the main reason. He's not necessarily looked great either. But I think it's mostly because he hasn't scored recently. Gary Hunter, FPL Gary, welcome to... sorry, thanks for becoming a member, I should say. I always go to read that like it's a message or whatever. I really should change the music. I'm going to put my Christmas playlist on. Whack on the Christmas tunes. Got my Christmas tree up. Any beard growth tips? I mean, I definitely don't look like the kind of person that has beard growth tips. My beard is terrible. He was a child actor. He played Chucky in Rugrats. Nah, Focal's not old enough to have done that. This Rugrats is well old, isn't it? If you have both Bowen and Watkins, one free transfer, Taylor on the bench, would you transfer in both Palmer and Isak Darwin for -4? No, I'd probably just do the Bowen move, leave Watkins, then you got Taylor to come off the bench. Like, I think, look, Taylor's not... I need to turn the music down. Sorry, Christmas music's way too loud. Like, Taylor's not this amazing player, but I think for this particular week, he's okay. He's okay. If you need him as backup or something like that. So FPL aficionado, Eze to Gordon, Adingra to Palm. Again, why are we selling Adingra? Watkins to Darwin, 2 free chances, -4. Very difficult to get in Burma. How essential is he? He's not essential. He's just very good. I would just do 2 of those moves. I wouldn't do all 3 for a -4. Watkins to Darwin or Gordon to Mbermo / play Archer. Probably Gordon to Mbermo and play Archer. Sell Bowen, who to bring in? I already have Mbermo. Luis Diaz punt, maybe. Palmer, get the money for next week. Gordon, get the money for next week. Bruno for Mbermo and Watkins for Isak for a -8. Nope. I would just probably hold both those players. This is the first time I can watch the Deadline stream. I'm in the US. Welcome. Welcome. As you can see, you're not really missing out on anything. It's this same rubbish every week. It's the same rubbish every week. When do Villa play? Tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Oh, they play at the same time as Liverpool. So Darwin and Watkins both playing at the same time. If Watkins starts, of course. Buy, sell, start or bench. Need more detail in some of these questions. Yeah, and also you shouldn't put players in the question you're never going to bench either. Like some people will be like, who should I bench? I've got Cash, Gay, and Haaland. Which are come on, you're not gonna bench Haaland. Sell Bowen or Diaby this game week to bring in Palmer. I think you've got to sell the doubt in that case. Unless you've got a strong opinion that Bowen is going to start, or you've got inside information, then I think you've got to sell the player that's more of a doubt, knowing that Diaby might need it to be moved on next week or something. You've got Archer on the bench anyways. You don't need to make the transfer. I mean, you're right. I don't need to make the transfer. It's not a must-do move. The thing is, like, one thing I'm conscious of is last week I said I'm just going to do Matoma to Mbeumo because I was going to do that in game week 14 anyway, and I'll just roll after that. And then this week I'm thinking to myself, well, I don't need to sell Watkins, but I could sell him to Darwin Nunez because I can just roll in game week 15. And then next week there'll be another move that comes up. I'll probably want Porro, and it'll be fine because I'll be rolling in game week 16. But actually then, Arsenal will play Villa away. Gay doesn't have a good fixture either. Maybe I'll make another defender transfer, and then I'll roll in game week 17, etc., etc. So, yeah. I don't need to do the move, but I think I am still leaning more towards doing it. And, yeah. My rank is very poor, thank you very much. Appreciate that. It is game week 38 after all. You know how long Alisson is out for? No, but it sounds like he could be back around like the Arsenal-Man United games, basically. You're almost certainly going to get the next 3 games, which is the best 3 in the next 5. Afraid to captain Salah and miss out on Haaland. Afraid to captain Haaland and miss out on Salah. Again, they're just both good. Just pick one. Be done. Pick one and then move on with your day, I would say. And just hope you don't get too screwed over either way. Like it could be one of those weeks where you captain Haaland over Salah. Like I think we can all agree right now they're both really good options. And Haaland could blank and Salah could get 20 points, or vice versa. And that can happen in FPL. You just hope that it doesn't happen too many weeks, right? I've got no early team news about Arsenal, by the way. The person that I used to get team news off, I've had one message from in like nearly 2 months, so don't expect anything from me. I don't think we usually get Arsenal news from anywhere else, really. I know my rank's not that bad, don't worry. I mean, it's not great, but it's definitely not awful either. I'm also not really bothered. It's game week 14, like. High Energy has been watching for about 3 years and just wanted to say you should have more confidence in your output as you're the only content creator that doesn't oversell and keeps it 100%. What is there to sell though, really, you know? Nothing to say. You either watch it and like it, or you don't watch it and don't like it. But anyway, I appreciate it. I'm glad you've been watching for 3 years. Thank you very much. Man United took a 3-hour train to Newcastle because of bad weather. Flight cancelled, but the game is still on. Bad weather might play a part this winter in the Premier League. Shaka leka meka leka. Thank you very much. Yes, of course, games could be called off because of snow and stuff like that. It is possible. So having a deep bench could be good. Maybe we all sell Salah soon to improve our squads. Who knows? Michael, 2-month member, thank you very much. Already done Eze to Palmer. Also have Watkins and Bowen, Gay and Cash on the bench. Do I leave it? I'd probably leave it in your case. I mean, you could, because you got both, maybe you could take 1 hit, but I wouldn't take 2, I don't think. I'm not convinced that Watkins is worth a -4, and I'm more convinced by Bowen, but not massively. Why am I benching Cash? Because I'm playing Taylor, basically. That's it. That is it. If your bench is Cash, Maguire, and Mubama, would you consider that Watkins hit more? Not really, because you've got 2 players that are probably going to play this week. I mean, I guess you've got to think about it a bit more for your own squad. Like if you sell Watkins, like what's the plan to get him back? How are you going to do it? Are you going to have the funds? Are there loads of other moves to make? Like I mean 28 minutes. I'm not really looking forward to going through with Watkins to Darwin, but I feel like I've spoken about it so much I probably need to do it. I might still roll. I don't know. But if I do it, I'm not quite sure I'm going to get him back. And I'm kind of, at the moment, I'm feeling okay with that. I might not feel okay with that in a few weeks. And so if you're going to want Watkins back straight away, you should probably just not sell him, right? Especially not for a hit. Only you can decide how you feel about him and your future transfers, right, for your own team. Like, is it like, I can give a general opinion about selling Watkins. Like, I probably wouldn't do it for a hit, but maybe it makes sense for your team. Maybe it makes sense. Xander Red, member for 16 months. -4, Bowen to Palmer or Watkins to Isak, or do nothing. Play Son instead of... Yeah, definitely play Son. Or Kabori's next sub. I would take the risk that one of Bowen or Palmer will play. I would just play Watkins and Son and bench Bowen and hope for the best. Solanke to Darwin for a hit. Fear of missing out is huge. Definitely not. Definitely not. Solanke was like all the raids last week. Definitely not. Cash, Gabriel, Simicast, Lascelles, which 3 to start? I would start all of them apart from Cash. Watkins or Calvert-Lewin to Darwin Nunez. Is Calvert-Lewin a doubt? Have I missed that? I mean, preferably, like, if it's not going to affect future moves, I would get rid of Calvert-Lewin and keep Watkins. Do Burn to Saliba and bench Watkins or get Darwin? Burn to Saliba sounds pretty good to me. And maybe even play Watkins ahead of someone else and have someone else good first bench. Gordon, Watkins, Trippier need to leave out too. I'd leave out the doubt, Watkins. So selling Bruno from Berman for -4 is a bad option. I wouldn't do that, I don't think. I mean, Newcastle away is not a great fixture for Bruno, but I don't think it's worth a -4 to get in Burmo. Maybe do it next week for free. TJ. Bowen to Saka for a -4. Archer would come off the bench for Bowen. Probably not, no. Bowen, Trippier, Watkins for Lascelles, Palmer, Haaland. Bowen, Trippier, Watkins for Lascelles, Palmer, Haaland. Could work out that's a -4. It's close. I don't mind it for getting Haaland back. Bench one of Son, Bowen, Diaby or Watkins. Bowen. Who to start, Anderson or Matoma? Matoma. Is it worth me selling Bowen, Watkins, Alvarez for Haaland, Archer up to a 7.5 million mid? I mean, maybe if it's a -4 and you're getting in Burmo. If you already have Trent and Saliba, would you consider selling Cash as Zinchenko or Gabriel? Yeah, I don't know which of those two I would get. I think I would stick with Gabriel. Plus, he's a bit cheaper now. Daniel, thank you very much. I think Zinchenko might maybe be slightly better when they're both on the pitch, but I think Gabriel's minutes might be slightly better than Zinchenko. If you're worried about a -4, I've taken a -12. Wow, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. You're pre-sending in Kunku. I don't even know what that means. Yeah. Yes, we've heard that Man United news. Yeah. They're on a coach. Watkins, Bowen to Isak, Saka for -4. No, I'd probably just do one of them again. Maybe if you need the money, possibly to get Saka, but I don't think it... I'm not convinced it's worth a -4. It's okay. Jandra, 2 free transfers. Cash Bowen to Gabriel Palmer. Cash Bowen to Gabriel Palmer. Or Cash Bowen Archer to Lascelles Palmer. Isak for -4. I mean, the -4 gives you a better squad overall. You still get to keep Diaby. I mean, I might buy Diaby in Game Week 18. Cash Bowen. So you get Isak instead. But who are you gonna if you? So is Isak worth a -4 basically? I mean, if you're getting Isak for a -4, who are you benching? Because you could just get Isak next week, right? Oh, but you have to get Lascelles instead of Gabriel. I'd probably get Gabriel Palmer, I think. Watkins to Darwin. Yes, if you want to do that, you should. Would you sell Son from Burmo for free? Probably not. Areskamu, thank you very much. 23 minutes until the deadline, by the way. So don't miss your moves. It is a bit of a confusing week, and like there's like so many different reasons to sell or not to sell. Like Watkins, Bowen, it depends who you've got. The thing is, if you've already got like Salah, I don't know, Son and Burmo, like there's not a huge amount of must-have midfielders anyway. Like that are great options. Like Luis Diaz could be great. But I'm not sure it's I don't know. There's just something about Bowen where I wouldn't really want to sell him unless I had to. But it's so annoying not having any information. Apparently, Man United are walking to Newcastle. That could be a nightmare. Start Taylor or Tsimikas? No question there for me. Tsimikas 100%. Like not even a debate. I don't think. Play Gordon or Alvarez. Alvarez for me, I think. Start Livramento or Cash. Probably Livramento, I think. The thing is, right, I don't think Eddie Howe said anything about Livramento, did he? I mean, presumably he'll start again. But Lewis Hall's going to get minutes at some point. Watkins to Darwin -4. I don't think so, no. Opinions on Wissa as a 3-game week punt. I don't mind it because the fixtures are good, but just bear in mind he's also going to African Cup of Nations as far as I know. So it's another player you've got to think about. Own Bowen, Watkins cannot get to Saka without a -4 roll. Probably if you've got a decent-ish bench. Genre, I can also do Cash to Lascelles instead of Gabriel and get Izat next week. It depends how much you want Izat, really. I mean, sure, if you want Izat, then get Lascelles, but I think Gabriel's a pretty good option next 2 weeks. Gibbs, White, or Palmer for the next 3 to 4? Probably Palmer, I think. But he's a bit cheaper as well, which I think helps. Bowen to Gordon or Palmer. Again, I think Gordon is probably slightly better overall, but Palmer is a bit cheaper. So do you need that money for anything else? All these questions surrounding Watkins, I have Bowen. They are both talismanic. There's no, what a word. There's no value in fake taking them out short term on how they perform. Yeah, but I think, look, we have to take into account Watkins definitely has some kind of an issue. It might only be minor, but there's something there. Enough to keep him out of the squad, enough for Emery to say he's 50-50. And Bowen has literally missed a match. So things have changed, but I agree with the general point that like I wouldn't be going out of my way to necessarily sell them. I probably shouldn't sell Watkins, should I? I've kind of talked myself into Darwin Nunez at this point. That's more the thing. Acute, I probably pronounced that wrong. Thanks for becoming a member. Appreciate it. You've got Cash, Gordon, Palmer, Watkins, 2 free transfers and 1.3. Thinking of bringing in Burmo, but requires 2 transfers. Yeah, but I think that's okay. Like if you could do Gordon to Burmo maybe, and then downgrade Cash to fund it, that could work. Bowen to Saka, Watkins to Alvarez -4. Again, you probably need to do Watkins to Alvarez to fund the other move. It's okay, but like Alvarez blanks in game week 18, is that going to cause you problems? You still go without Haaland, is it crazy? Not necessarily. You might have a team where it makes doesn't make much sense to bring him back in yet. But I would start thinking about how you're going to do it. I'm not going to keep talking about Haaland versus Salah captain. I think I've done that to death this week. I've talked about that in my team selection. I've definitely mentioned it in other videos as well. I talked about it in Final Thoughts, I think. Talked about it on this stream loads of times. Although I could have just answered it instead of saying all that. But it's too late now. It's too late. Do I reckon Diaby starts? Yes. Yeah. I mean, Diaby's minutes aren't fully secure when he's on the pitch anyway, right? We have seen him come off a few times early-ish, but I don't know. I think Bournemouth way is all right. Nunez, Isaac, Alvarez up top. Got Trent Alexander-Arnold. Very nice. Yeah, you can just captain Salah, right? It's not the biggest issue if you've not got Haaland. Oh, 18 minutes. 18 minutes. Where is... Do. Just seeing if there's any news, but I don't think so. Start Ben White and hope for the best. Potentially, yes. Depends who your other option would be. Diaby to Palmer for a -4. Nope, don't think so. I'll just keep him. I'm going to get rid of this captaincy poll now because we've had over 16,000. As you can see, it's pretty close. It's pretty close between Haaland and Salah. I know the streamer is about to bring in Nunez, a man that can't hit a barn door. You're typing as if you're AI. Foden news. I wouldn't be expecting anything, to be honest. Watkins to Jesus. I probably wouldn't do that. Is Amron still a good shout? I still have him. I've had other fires to put out. Look, he's one of those players that I wouldn't be looking to bring in at the moment, but yeah, like he's fine. The fixtures are all right. Newcastle fairly attacking. I don't know what his personal numbers are like, but I don't think you need to panic about getting rid of him. Like if you've got other stuff to do. I'm either going to roll or go Watkins to Darwin. If Watkins starts, I think it's a bad move, basically. It's a bad move. I had no reason to do it before. But obviously we have got new information, right? There is a slight doubt around it. Watkins always starts, though. So does Bowen. If you had Alvarez instead of Watkins, would you still go to Darwin? No, I don't think so. I would just roll. I mean, I'm thinking about rolling. I've got Watkins that... I can't remember what I was going to say. But I'm thinking about rolling with Watkins, so I'd almost certainly roll with Alvarez. Mr. Template in caps lock. You should risk more if you want a better rank. Sure, yeah. If I have Tomiyasu or Ben White, who should I start? I guess Tomiyasu, but I don't really know about that one. I don't know who's more likely to start. I guess Tomiyasu could play right or left back, but he could also be benched. I don't know. It seems like much of a muchness. Did Ben White start? Hang on. I can't remember if he started midweek. Ooh. Did he start in the Champions League? Someone's going to be able to tell me before I look it up. Versus Lens. No, he didn't. I'd probably start Tomiyasu. I'd probably just start Tomiyasu and hope for the best, but I don't know who's going to start. I wish I did. I wish I could tell you. Play Martinelli or transfer in Gordon. Play Martinelli. I think that's an easy decision, that one. Sell Bowen for Sterling for a -4 or keep him. I'd probably keep him. I mean, Sterling is pretty good against Brighton, but I don't know if it's worth the hit, especially when Sterling's on 4 yellows. Adingra to Palmer -4 or play Pedro. I'd probably just play Pedro. Can't get Darwin next game week, then for Alvarez. That's fine, I think. But if I play João Pedro, but does Darwin play 3 times in a week? No, not necessarily. I think there's a pretty good chance Darwin will get benched against Sheffield United. Oh, I don't know what to do about Watkins. I don't know what to do. And there's less than 15 minutes to go. I'm probably going to sell him. I think I'm probably going to sell him, but I kind of just wanted to know for sure. Like as much, I think it is better overall for the game that we don't know, but it does make the decision a lot easier when you do know. Start Lascelles or cash? I'd start Lascelles, I think. Which order for bench? Lascelles, Archer, and Matoma. Probably Matoma, then Lascelles, then Archer, maybe. Archer and Lascelles are quite close. Can't see Watkins being risked today. I mean, yeah, but yeah, I agree. Like, if there is a risk there, they probably wouldn't take it, but there might not be a risk, right? He might be fine. Going out, yeah. Maybe I should tune into a different deadline stream and find out what I should do with my move. Maybe I could do that. Set up a second account and go and put a super chat in someone else's stream. But I think you've got to be careful though, because people that have got Watkins that have already used a transfer will probably be more keen on people keeping him. Villa play tomorrow. Yeah, that's correct. I'm not that interested in Jesus, but maybe that's because I've already got triple Arsenal, so subconsciously I've not really thought about him that much. I think he's okay. Any updates on why people are so down on Adingra? I mean, I haven't seen too much. Again, Adingra owners, what's the worry? Using your own logic, you have to deal with a doubt. But dealing with a doubt doesn't have to mean a transfer, right? I've got Archer on the bench, and I mean I've got potentially 3 playing players on my bench. So if I think Watkins is a better option long term, because you've got to remember, like, Darwin in is one transfer, Watkins back in is another one, and I probably would want him for game week 18, and I might leave myself in like a tricky position to do that. Watkins to Darwin easy, definitely play and home fixture. Yeah, like no one. I don't think anyone's doubting that Darwin. Like right now, with the information we have, Darwin is a better pick than Watkins this week. Like, no one's doubting that or arguing it. But that's not all there is to making an FPL decision, is it? Or is there? You've got to consider like future moves, how many transfers it is, etc. I think if Watkins had a worse fixture in game week 18, then wouldn't be such an issue. Bench 1, Solanke, Watkins, Bruno, or Kudus. Watkins or Kudus, I think. Probably, I guess Watkins is the biggest out, isn't he, of the 4? And you lose value, yes. Although he is going to go down in price. He's going to go down to 8.4. But if he smashes it against Bournemouth, he could be straight back up again. After all this, Isak will be the one that ends up doing amazing. It'll be Isak. Adingra's underlying expected data is poor in away games. Yeah, but overall, the numbers are pretty good, right? I mean, away games are tougher generally, but I wouldn't put too much emphasis on that. Actually, his numbers are really bad. 0.16, 0.09 expected goals, expected assists is pretty terrible. I'm back. Yeah, why are you saying it like Isak's not the better player? For sure, but being a better player doesn't always work out to more FPL points. Look at Marcus Alonso, right? I don't think many teams would have wanted him playing left back, but in FPL he was great. So Isak is great, and yeah, there's probably an argument to be made that he's better than Darwin, but the fixtures aren't better next 3, I would say. But he is on penalties, so yeah. Why Archer over Cash? I just usually prefer playing the attacker, really. The audio is not still gone. I can see the audio is back now. You can hear me, right? Tell me you can hear me now. Well, I can see it in OBS. I can see... Yeah, I'm not muted. I was muted, but not now. I can see the mic going up and down. Darwin's due a hat-trick. I wouldn't rely on that, to be honest. I mean, what's his highest score so far this season? I mean, he hasn't started every single match, but he got an 11-pointer against Newcastle off the bench, 10-pointer against Forest. That's it. 11 points is his highest, and that was off the bench. The audio is good. You're going in Burma, Captain. Are you crazy? I wouldn't necessarily say crazy. No, I think it's okay. Yeah, I wouldn't put too many more super chats in now because I'm about to panic about Watkins to Darwin and then regret it straight away. Bench it, Watkins, Cash or Simicast, Cash. Turner to Kelleher is done, but wanted to bring in Isak and Palmer for Bruno and Mubama. Planning for wildcard 19. -8. Nah, I don't think so. Don't think that's worth it. The beauty of wildcarding in 19 is probably that you have to take less hits, not more, I would say. Starting Simicast, Gabriel and Taylor. Bench Shaw and Gay. Yeah. I think definitely benching Gay for Taylor is fine. Shaw maybe less so because he's pretty good, but I think Man United will concede. So yeah, I'd play Taylor. 2 free transfers, Bowen and Watkins out for Mbermo and Darwin. I mean, you're in a pretty good position. You're in a pretty good position. Oh, actually, just realized. Sorry, just listening to a voice note. Not about FPL, don't worry. No last minute Watkins news or anything like that, unfortunately. It's just about whether I needed anything from Tesco. Which I maybe do, but I don't have time to think about. I've got to think about Watkins to Darwin. Is Nketiah benched? Presumably he will be benched, yeah. What if Chris Wood is the best Watkins replacement? What if he is? He could be. He could be. Get Watkins to Chris Wood and then Archer to Darwin next week, maybe. Get your meal deal. Darwin can wait. Nah, not a meal deal kind of person. Well, no, actually, I do like an old meal deal. But that's probably not what's going to happen today. I might get a chicken roll. Hot chicken roll. Remember we talked about them last week? I actually got one last week after talking about one. Any news on Cash? Nope. Super Milk, relax. You seem more stressed about my transfers than me. If you listened and sold Son, would be much easier now. But I don't want to sell Son. Surely you put Cash as your main sub as they're playing Bournemouth. Could do that, yeah. Could do that. Isaac, expected goals per 90 is 0.96. He's a must if you're getting rid of Watkins. Nope. I would say no. He's good, though. Chicken fillet roll, of course, yeah. Watkins is on the same bus as the United players. Why'd you keep putting Galway in front of your point? Galway, comma. Just take out Bowen and put in Sterling. Or he's Galway, or is that a name of a person in the chat? Or am I missing something here? James Saliba or Beecham to Palmer. Who's Bowen, I guess that is. Probably James Saliba, I guess. I feel like I should be rolling and dealing with my defence next week. My plan, if I roll, my general plan would probably be to do Gay to Lascelles and Cash to Porro, and I kind of deal with 2 issues at once by doing that. Whereas Darwin could leave me... Oh, I don't know. It's one of those, the closer we get to deadline, the more I'm thinking maybe I should just play the boring route. 5 greens in a row. The transfer needs to be right to keep the momentum going. I'm not bothered about that, though. I mean, obviously I want green arrows, but I'm not going to make my decisions on... I mean, I guess I'm always trying to make my decisions with the most points, but long term, getting the most points might be rolling, right? Might not be doing Watkins to Darwin. Like, the thing is, my worry is, I think if Watkins starts today, then suddenly I'm kind of worried. I'm worried about the move. Sorry, not today, tomorrow. Because Watkins could outscore Darwin this week, and then he'll definitely start midweek, whereas Darwin won't, necessarily. 100% you're panicking and bringing in Nunez. Yeah, I don't know about panicking, but I probably am going to bring in Nunez, yeah. We'll give £100 to charity if you don't do Watkins Darwin. Yeah, I'm just going to make my own decision. Not based on how much money you want to do or don't want to donate to charity. But yes, I am probably going to do the move, as I've said a million times. City and Arsenal, next 2 games, sealed it for me. I know, we already knew he had those games, and then he's definitely going to be a transfer back in. I'm just wondering whether there's something a bit more interesting I could do to get him back in, where I maybe keep Darwin and still get Watkins. So maybe do like Salah to Diaby and Archer to Watkins, maybe. Something like that. Possibly. Palmer or Diaby. I'd say Palmer this week, I think. Spazoji, 12 months member, thank you very much. Who to bench? Alvarez, Watkins, Diaby or Palmer? Probably Watkins out of those. Darwin is a fun-ish pick, but he's also super frustrating. Super frustrating. Can be anyway. Like, I've never owned him before, but I see the frustration from everyone else. Darwin's not going to be benched today. Not going to be benched for this game. No, I would say there's no chance Darwin gets benched for Fulham at home. If you were making the Watkins decision midweek instead of today, what would you do? Well, it depends if Watkins is fit, right? Gibbs White or Gordon? Probably Gordon, I think. Gibbs White's fine though. Like, nothing wrong with him. Last minute swap to Salah captain, can't give a proper explanation for it. That happens sometimes. I think I'm gonna get Darwin. I need to hang on. I need to set it up so I'm ready to do it. Darwin's going to be terrible anyway. I can just see it now. I can see it now. 1.4 XG, 2 points. Next 3 fixtures are good. I wish the 2 of them weren't away though. Sheffield United away. It's also Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday. There's no way he plays all 3. If you're buying him, I would say there's no way he starts all 3. I think he starts Fulham, Palace and Man United. And then probably Arsenal as well. And then probably not Burnley. Probably not Burnley. Oh, I'm going to regret this so much. I'm going to regret this. 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 I'm going to regret it. I'm going to regret it. 100% regretting that move. Looks good this week, though. Looks good this week. Darwin, 1 yellow card. How many yellow cards is he on? I didn't even check that. Rookie mistake. He's not on 4 because that would be the talk of the town if he was. He's on 2. We're good. We're good. We're good. There we go. It's done. Darwin is in. You know what? It's like any FPL decision. It might work out. It might not. We'll see. Thoughts on starting Watkins resulting in making Son first bench? I would probably just play Son, to be honest. Let me see. Just checking my team. Archer Cash. Salah vice captain, Haaland captain. Okay, it's about to tick over, by the way. So if you're not already got your moves locked in, make sure you lock them in. 10 out of 11 home games. Yeah, hopefully that's good. Better than all the away games last week. I think when you make a move like that, knowing that Darwin probably won't start against Sheffield United, you need him to outscore Watkins straight away. Like, you really do. Otherwise, it's going to feel like an absolute nightmare. Like, if Watkins outscores Darwin this week, suddenly that looks like a really bad move. But I kind of know that going into it, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And we're locked in. I think this is the first time I've ever owned Darwin Nunez. The first time ever. The one... I mean, there's lots of reasons why I went for him, but one thing for me is I know I've talked a lot about getting Pedro Porro, and that would block me from doing Darwin to Watkins straight back. But I don't necessarily need to buy Porro this week in Game Week 15, so we'll see. We'll see. Stop doing. I'm listening to Driving Home for Christmas. If you're okay with a Darwin 1 point versus Sheffield United, but starts versus Fulham and Palace, then the transfer makes sense. Remember, Darwin has previous with Anderson at Palace, but he's played them since then, right? He's played them since that happened, I think. Maybe he hasn't, actually. Always knew you were a Darwin truther. I mean, look, in some ways, at least I can put my money where my mouth is. I've freaking talked about him enough, haven't I? I've just never put him into my team. It's never really worked out. That happens. Yeah, not starting Cash could be a mistake. What's my favourite Christmas song? I mean, probably just the obvious ones. Like Fairy Tale in New York. Rest in peace. I can't remember any of the names. Merry Christmas, everyone. Of course. I'm looking at the... I can't remember all the freaking... I mean, I like most of them. Can't wait for get. Well, if Darwin gets sent off and Watkins drops in price, I might just do Darwin to Watkins. To be honest, I think I can just about afford it. Anyway, what's the? There's a few matches that I could wait for the team news. Can I? There's not really that much interest in team news though. There's only 3 games. You should have rolled, yeah, maybe, yeah. And our Christmas tree's already been up since last week. Yes, I don't care that it was November and you all hate it. It's been up. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm very hungry as well. I've not eaten since I don't know, since breakfast time, I guess. I'm hungry. It's lunchtime now. Thanks very much for watching. If you have enjoyed that stream, please do make sure to give it a like and hit that subscribe button. Trying to hit 388k subscribers. That's the next little milestone. We're close. We're close. Good luck this week. I am not 100% sure what videos and stuff and what I'm going to be doing because the next deadline is Tuesday at 6 o'clock. So it's not that long until the next deadline. So I will probably do knee jerk on Sunday as normal and then do the rest of the stuff on Monday, Tuesday. But it'll be more condensed and there won't be as many videos as normal. To be honest, I kind of prefer that because we can just get all the good stuff done straight away. So yeah, thanks for watching. Enjoy your weekends. Come on, Darwin Nunez. And I'll talk about how bad that Watkins and Darwin move was on tomorrow's stream. I'll catch you later on.